welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is the third and final video for this week, week 12 of GBS Beginner English. I know we've had a lot of fun things to talk about, and this will be the last one that we talk about this week. We're going to talk about what is it used for. Now, in our lives, we come across many things that we may or may not know what they're used for. You find something and say, what is this? I have no idea what to even make of this. Look on the internet, you can find lots of them. So today in unit 28, lesson 28 in our Speak Now 2 book, we're going to go ahead and look at what is this used for. So let's check it out. Here we go. All right, so what can we do for different things? There are some things that people use their telephones for, and each person does different things with their telephones. Some people like using their telephones to read books. Some people use it to read articles on the internet or to browse and shop. Some people like to use the maps or just use it as a regular telephone. Some people like to play games. Guilty. And some people use it to do other activities. So what is it that you usually use your telephone for? Because remember, there are no wrong answers. On your telephone, you have many different things that you can do. So what do you use your phone mostly for? With the smartphones of the 21st century, there's a lot of applications that you can use on your telephone. So talk about it. Think about the things that you do with your telephone, and we'll discuss that a little bit more. All right, now we're going to listen to a conversation between Dave and Helena, and we're going to find out a little bit about what they use their electronic devices for.
Hi, Helena. Are you busy?
Not really. What are you doing?
I'm playing with my new tablet. I just got it.
I need to get one of those. They're so cool looking. What do you use it for?
Lots of things. I mostly use it to store photos and watch movies. It's so much better than my phone.
What is its most interesting feature?
The most useful feature is probably the editing software. I can use it for recording, editing, and sharing my own music.
How fun.
Right, so now they're using the tablet for this little discussion and the things he can use his tablet for. Now, depending on which way you want to go, you can go with the iTab, or go with the tablet from an Android. They both have different benefits and detractions depending on which device you choose to use, but it's all up to you. Using your electronics, you use it for the way that you want to use it because it's all yours. You get to decide, and you can say, this is mine. I use it the way we want. And now we move along and see there are a couple of extra sentences that we could try putting into here. Try putting them in and making the sentences change their meaning a little bit. You never know what's going to happen. So instead of I just got it, it was a birthday present. You never know how something is given. So try figuring out a little bit of different sentences. All right, now asking about uses, asking what we do. One of my favorite questions to ask on tests is what kind of things you like to do with your telephone. Hint, hint, hint. What do you do with your telephone? Everybody does different things with their phones. Some people like to draw. Some people like to play games. Some people enjoy just using regular telephone or surfing the internet. What you do on your telephone, there's nothing right or wrong, as long as you're smart about it. Remember, you don't want to be no. Don't want to be a smombie, because if you're a smombie, bye. We're gonna miss you. Bye. Yeah. Being a smombie, where you're spending most of your time or all of your time glued to your telephone, you're gonna miss something happening around you. So be very careful with that. Know what's happening around you and figure out what you use your telephone mostly for. My phone, I use it a lot for text messages. I don't make many phone calls on my phone. I prefer video chat and I prefer my desktop computer to using my telephone. But I do use my telephone for doing chats and for taking pictures once in a while, but mostly playing games. But that's okay. We're going to move on and talk about other things that people can do. What else can you use things for? What do you want to use it for? All right. Now, we're going to listen to the next part where we're talking about these different products. Now, they have different products, and I want you to number them 1, 2, 3, 4 as you hear them, and then write down the price that you hear for each of these items. Some of them are expensive, some of them are cheap. Some of them you might say, oh, I really need this. And others you may say, it's like, teacher, why would somebody need that? We'll talk about it on the other side.
Number 1. This is the perfect item for the musician wannabe in all of us. Some of us play a musical instrument, but it's not always practical to carry it around with us. Well, that problem is now solved with the electric guitar bag. This unique bag combines a normal bag with an actual guitar. You can use it to carry a laptop or use it to relax and relieve stress. If you're feeling stressed, just rock out and you'll feel better in no time. Order now for just $49.99. Number 2.
Do you like Asian food, but find you aren't so good with chopsticks? Do you get embarrassed when you have to ask for a fork in a Chinese or Japanese restaurant? Well, let these 5 pandas in the Panda Chopsticks kit help you. They are small, plastic, and slippery, so you get lots of practice trying to pick them up with your chopsticks. Use the chopsticks to place them in different positions. Just remember not to eat the pandas. Each set costs $24.
Number 3.
5 plus 5 equals 20, right? If you said wrong, you are right. With the wrongulator calculator, 5 plus 5 might equal 20, 12, or 200. Anything but the correct answer of 10. Whatever you put into the wrongulator is guaranteed to produce a wrong answer. You can't use it to get a correct answer, so what would you use this for? Most people just use it to play tricks on people, to have a laugh. They may give it as a gift to someone in their office. The cost? Only $7.
Number 4.
Here's something for the person who has everything. A clone doll. Get a perfect likeness of yourself. The company that makes these dolls takes a photo of you in 3D and produces a doll head of you. The process is not difficult, thanks to 3D scanners and printers. The doll head is then attached to a variety of doll bodies. Now, what in the world are these used for? The most popular use is for weddings. But it seems some people like to use the dolls to scare others. Each doll costs $1,800.
Wow. $1,800 for. I'm not going to speculate on what people use these dolls for, but given that they are lifelike or life size, I can imagine there's a lot of things that people use with them. Please
6 hours later.
don't be too bad about these. Creating a three-dimensional doll about yourself or about somebody else, it's just plain creepy. The chopsticks. Not everybody in the world gets to use chopsticks very well. I was very lucky. When I was in college, I lived near a Panda Express Chinese restaurant, and I used to go eat there at least once a week, sometimes twice a week, because the food was so good and very reasonably priced, actually. And the lady that ran there became a friend of mine, and she actually taught me the correct way to use chopsticks and to use them effectively. And I've learned them so well, I can actually use chopsticks with both hands. Not that I'm eating at the same time with both hands, no, but I shattered my arm many years ago and had to do chopsticks with my left hand and found that I'm just as proficient with my left hand as I am with my right hand. So these are fun things to learn. Gag items. Oh, gag items can be so much fun, especially when the people aren't suspecting them. And that is the key. For any of you who could potentially be a potential practical joker, the practical joke that is best are the ones that are not expected. So be very, very careful around somebody who's a practical joker. I am, and always have been, a practical joker, but I keep my practical jokes under control. That is until you get to one of my quizzes, and all of a sudden, every answer on the quiz is the exact same answer. Has it happened yet? Maybe not. You'll have to wait and see. All right, we're moving along. Now, think about a perfect household robot. If you could design some kind of robot for your own personal use, what would you use? Not everybody can make a perfect robot to do exactly what they want, but it's nice to make, in the world of fantasy and science fiction, a robot that can do the things you would like. I would love to have a robot that does the cleaning and the laundry and gets it all put away so that it's all ready for me every time. I would love that. There are some things I like doing. I don't mind doing the dishes, and I don't mind cleaning the floor, but I would like a personal robot that keeps things clean. I don't mind cleaning up after myself, but I would like to have something help me a little bit. Now, going on, here we go. It's workbook time. All right, so what does each person do with his or her smartphone? Right on the line. So what it is, smartphones are great because books are so heavy. So what does that person do? If books are heavy, they're probably going to use it to read books because smartphone's much lighter. So read the clue, figure out what the person is doing with their smartphone. Then, how often do you do some of those activities from part one? How often do you read your book, listen to music, watch YouTube videos? On my phone, the three things that are done most often, chatting is not one of them. I listen to YouTube videos and audiobooks. I read newspaper articles, and I play games. Those are the three things that I do most on my telephone. Everything else, extra. Now, complete conversation with your own ideas. So what can you use a widescreen TV for? What are some of the potentials? What could you do with a double screen TV or triple screen TV? What are some of the things that you might do? Would you play epic video games? Would you teach classes? What could you do? On my particular setup, I have a double screen, and I'm going to share that double screen with you right now. So I have my first screen, which shows what I'm looking at and what you're seeing in the slides, and my second screen, which shows all my extra fun things, including all my sound effects that I use in class. And yes, it is a sound app, and it's one app that you could usually find on your telephone. I've got a phone emulator on my computer so that I can do things like and in my class because I find that fun and enjoyable, and it gives me great joy. Right. Now we're going to look at the reading section, household robots, and mark whether these sentences are true or false. Robots have existed in science fiction for a long time, but they are just now moving into our homes. Some robots have only a few uses. For example, one robot called the Roomba just vacuums your room. It measures the size and shape of the room, then it vacuums. You don't have to do anything. Another kind of robot is the Robio. It's best for security. It connects your wireless internet. Then you can use the program to move around your house. It has a camera, so you can watch your house while you are at work. The Wakamaroo robot has more uses. It was designed to help elderly and disabled people. It can recognize voices and faces and built-in dictionary to know 10,000 words. It is constantly connected to the internet. If you notice a problem, the robot can call for email for help. The Uniqlo store in New York was used for the Wakamaroo robot to greet customers. Now, these little robots, they can be great, except the Roomba. If you have a pet, never, ever buy a Roomba. If you have a cat and the cat is litter box trained, no problem. But if you have a dog, don't do it. Why? Well, I had a friend of mine who he had a Roomba and he had a dog, and the dog was not that well behaved. And the dog ended up going to the bathroom in the house. And the Roomba was active, and when my friend came home, the Roomba had moved the pee and the poop everywhere in the house. It had smeared it everywhere. Walking to a house covered in is not something that you want to do. So it's a good idea. If you want, get one. But be sure you don't have pets with them. Or if you do have pets, make sure they're very well behaved. Because nothing worse than coming back to a house covered in. All right. Now, look at the robots that were designed and think about robots that you might want designed for your house. Would you like a Roomba? Would you like one of those other robots that were available? Would you like a robot that cooked for you, or something that just even recognized your own name? In another two robots that we have, Alexa and Siri. They're not physical robots, but they're search robots. So be careful. What would you like for your robot to do? All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's the end of part 3 for our class today. I hope that you've enjoyed talking a little bit about robots, about things that you might want, things you might want to change and might want to do. Until our next class, I will see you around. Have a great and wonderful time. Bye-bye.